All right, welcome back to the RC Spark Studio, my friends, and viewers of the show may recognize this truck. It is a 1/10 scale Axial SCX10 original that's hydro dipped with Mystique paint, basically. You can see it changes color there from purple to brown to green, and also a beautifully painted flame job and hydro dip on the front. That was done by Pit Dog Hydro. I'll leave a link to his Facebook in the video description box down below. You'll also notice these massive tires on here, right? These are looking amazing, but of course not very functional unless I had my suspension completely in droop, which means sag down. You can see that obviously I would have some body rubbing here with those tires. Nonetheless, it looks awesome. Now, this is the only way I could think of how to show you the size comparison to the Raminator Dodge that I have, because most of us have seen 1/10 scale trucks before. Oh yeah, baby. Look at this. Ugh. That's a 1/5 scale. Right, now look at that size difference. That's totally what she said. This is a gas-powered monster, guys. And somebody asked me a short while ago, what was the biggest tire I had? The Jumbo Kong? And it was actually the 40 series Demolisher tires from RC 4-wheel drive. And you can see that these tires are basically, they still have 3 inches at the top here. Incredible, my friends. This is one of the largest RC monster trucks I've seen. Yes, somebody else did an ATV conversion. They made 6 of them as monster trucks that you could ride as an ATV. It was 1/3 scale, but those aren't available for sale anymore. This one is mass production put out by PRIMAL RC, and I am fortunate enough to have had put a TMR performance engine in there that gives it much more power, and as well as a secondary pipe, which you can see I've installed there. That is a TMR pipe. It was one of their prototypes, and it gives it so much more power. Are you guys like in shock right now? Now you're kind of maybe getting the idea, because this is a jacked up 1/10 scale. Let's see if I have a 1/9 tire. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. In comparison, this is the Boom Racing BRX01. Like, this truck is massive, people. And I get people, viewers in the comment section telling me how slow this machine is. One of the things I never mentioned when I first ran this Raminator was that I was actually shaking with excitement. This kind of machine that's so large, they rate it at 80 pounds. Can you believe that? I don't think it's quite 80 pounds, but it's definitely exceptionally heavy. Now, with 80 pounds of weight, tons of aluminum, like look at these axles, these are all aluminum. Here we go, from inside hub to inside, we're looking at about 21 inches. That axle is almost 2 feet wide. Can you imagine that? The camera just doesn't capture the magnitude or the size. Look at this. It's generally the size of my whole shop table. It's hanging off the edge a little bit just so we could make the room for it. This is a coffee table sized machine. The Raminator. One of my favorite trucks to date. Now, one of the things that's happened was on the last video where I made a joke that I was cooking bacon on the hood because this RC is sizzling hot, that I had an issue with the front shock. Now, the front shock has come apart. I actually thought I broke it. I think it may have come apart just from all the vibration and like the 100 jumps that I've done with this rig. I don't know its top speed, but I can tell you, much like any other monster truck, it is not meant for insane speed. It is meant for torque, and it is meant to jump. And I find that with the upgraded engine and improved pipe that's on there now, this thing has ample torque and power for me, at least. If you guys want more, go ahead, but this is great for me. I don't even have 2 tanks through this truck yet, on the new engine at least. Okay, the old breaker bar with a 24mm socket. Let's get it mounted on there properly. There we go. Let's kind of break that open. This actually came with its own socket right here, as well as its own bar, which is more appropriate in size for whichever way you want to use it. But I find the breaker bar gives me just that little bit of torque that doesn't give me any problems. Ugh. Come on, you big bugger. There it is. Where's the Demolisher tire? Beautiful. And yes, my sticker's still on the hat because that way it doesn't get dirty with my shop hands, yeah? Ta-da! Okay, so I'm gonna need a number 10 wrench and my ratchet with the 10 mil socket. So a lot of people are actually attracted to this truck simply because you actually have to use full-size tools just to work on it. All right, then I take my 8 mil wrench, put that behind the nut, and this is my number 4 hex driver. And what I really like about this truck is that everything seems to be huge and easy to work on. It's almost like working on one of the older style of automobiles. Straightforward, no computers, nothing. Well, a little computer, it is RC, I guess. All right, let's see. Take that shock out. Oh, it just falls apart in my hand. That's okay though. Can I get it off the bolt? Yes, I can. There we go. Oh, you hear it? I think something came off, that's all. I hope. One of the things I love about this truck, look at this. Here is the shock hanger right here. This is exactly where I took it out from. But you have an adjustment point where you could move the shock up here if you wanted. It would be on a little bit of an angle. Or you could double up on your shocks. And I don't know if I need to double up on these shocks. This suspension is fantastic. A lot of people say to me it looks too stiff, but if you've ever seen a monster truck jump, they don't have a suspension that helps soak it up. They want a bouncy suspension so you can do mad tricks and jumps with the actual monster truck itself. Slide this off. Totally empty. What pours out the end? If you're a Raminator owner, let me know if you've had this problem in the comment section down below. Aha! So there is the where the fluid passes back and forth through the shock. This is the screw that goes into the end of the shaft that came out right here. See, I thought I flippin' well broke it. You know, I haven't broken anything on this truck yet, and I've jumped it like 100 different times. I'm sure it can be done, and I've seen people do damage to it, but mine's doing pretty good. Just with that coming out, not a big deal, I don't think. So assembling will be pretty straightforward. Of course, this will have to go into the tube. So I'm just undoing the bottom right here. Just want to have a look at the seal. Looks good. There's a rubber O-ring in there, you can see that right there. Okay, so with the tube being empty, all I'd need to do is slide this shaft straight through to the top, like that, ta-da! And then I take the flow regulator, or whatever it's called, and put that on top of that shaft. Then comes the washer, and then comes the screw. Pretty straightforward and simple fix today, I love it. Just gonna go ahead and tighten that up. To add a little extra pressure, I'm going to hold the end of the rod so it can't twist, and I'll torque it, but not too much, just enough to hold it on. Make sure I got flow. I don't see any damage on the rod itself. Now I just have to buy 14 liters of fluid to put in there. Okay, so off camera I did fill it up. I didn't need 14 liters, I was just kidding. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes vertical, just to help get all those air bubbles to come to the top. I don't want any air in there. Okay, so now that the air is out, I've pushed the piston all the way in and let it sit for another minute just to make sure there was absolutely nothing in there. I did not overfill it, and then I'm just gonna put the cap on. There we go. I want to torque that up, but not too tight, just enough so I feel comfortable. Yep, that won't be leaking. And then see if it moves. A little bit of resistance as it goes through that flow disc, and then right back to the top, and it comes out just a little bit at the bottom, which is what I love. Okay, then this will go, oh, where's the first spring? There's 2 springs here. Smaller spring goes up top like this. Then of course I've got my retaining or the separating ring, and then this spring on the bottom like so. Compress, and then take the shock spring perch, and voila, there it is. A giant repaired shock for a very heavy truck. So I have had some comments from viewers that wanted me to do a comparison of the size of this machine compared to my Kraken Vecta 5. Now I know I'll lose some subscribers when I say this, but I actually gave away my Vecta 5 to one of my good friends that didn't have a fifth scale anymore, and he wanted to work on that and possibly come race it here in the summer. And I said, absolutely. So unfortunately, I don't have that anymore, but I do have my Raminator and my Losi 5. I gave my DBXL to my buddy Steve, so he could have a fifth scale as well. So, you know, what goes around comes around. I've always been a true believer in karma, that's for sure. So there, so I'm just gonna tighten this up. And don't worry, you'll see the Vecta 5 again. Plus I got tons of videos on it. I had a great time with that truck. That would do it. Yeah, that won't be falling out anytime soon. Back goes the tire. Now remember, my offer is still going out to anybody in the world that wants to get out here. 10,000 rupees for me to hit you with this full blast on camera, because everybody thinks it's so slow. And we can all have a good laugh at that. Ugh. Beautiful. Repaired. And no, that light did not come with it. This was an add-on that I put on. It's one of my Rigid Industries LEDs. I have tons of videos on this truck. If you guys want to check it out on my channel, just search for the RC Raminator, or the Primal RC Raminator, I should say. Done lots of neat things with this stock, plus you can see the whole upgrade. And judge for yourself. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think. Drop me a like, click, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Now get outside and have fun with RC, or if you're like me, stuck in the shop today, fix one of yours up so you can go out next time. Bye for now.